It was a crisp autumn morning when I landed in Austria, the heart of Europe, where history, art, and food blend seamlessly. The air smelled fresh, the sky was a perfect blue, and I could hear the faint sound of a violin from a nearby cafe. I had one mission on this trip: to experience the soul of Austria through its food. I started my journey in Vienna, the capital, known for its imperial palaces and classical music, but also home to some of the most iconic culinary traditions. The first stop was a charming cafe, Café Sacher, where I ordered the famous Sachertorte. This decadent chocolate cake, covered in a glossy layer of apricot jam and topped with smooth dark chocolate, was more than just a dessert, it was a slice of history. I sat by the window, taking in the sight of people strolling past as the rich flavors melted in my mouth. Each bite was a perfect balance of sweetness and bitterness, making me wonder how something so simple could carry so much tradition. From Vienna, I traveled west to Salzburg, the birthplace of Mozart. Here I discovered a dish that embodied the spirit of Austrian comfort food: Wiener Schnitzel. In a cozy tavern nestled between the mountains, I watched as the chef pounded the veal cutlet thin, coated it in breadcrumbs, and fried it to a perfect golden crisp. Served with a side of warm potato salad and a wedge of lemon, the schnitzel was light, crispy, and absolutely delicious. It was the perfect companion to the cool mountain air. As I journeyed deeper into the Austrian Alps, the food became heartier. In a small mountain village, I was introduced to Käsespätzle, a dish that could only be described as Austria's answer to mac and cheese. Soft, doughy noodles, freshly made by hand, were tossed with rich, melted cheese and topped with crispy fried onions. It was the kind of meal that hugged you from the inside, providing warmth after a long day exploring the mountains. I ate it by a crackling fire, with the snow-capped peaks visible through the window. The next stop on my food journey was the region of Tyrol, known for its rustic cuisine. Here I sampled Specknödel, a traditional bacon dumpling. The dumplings were served in a steaming bowl of broth, the bacon lending a smoky flavor to the dish. As I savored each bite, I could see why this was a staple in Tyrolean households. Simple, filling, and bursting with flavor. No journey through Austria would be complete without experiencing a Heuriger, a traditional wine tavern. In the wine-growing regions around Vienna, I found myself in a cozy Heuriger, where the atmosphere was lively, the tables packed with friends and families enjoying local wine and food. I tried Bretteljaus, a platter of cold meats, cheeses, pickles, and freshly baked bread. The wine, a young and fruity Gruner Veltliner, paired perfectly with the smoky ham and tangy pickles. It was a meal meant to be shared, and by the end of the evening, I felt like I was part of the local community, toasting to good food and even better company. On my final day, I returned to Vienna to visit the Naschmarkt, an open-air market that has been operating for over 400 years. Here, the scents of exotic spices, fresh produce, and baked goods filled the air. I wandered through the stalls, tasting everything from Mediterranean olives to Austrian sausages. I couldn't resist stopping at a stall selling Apfelstrudel, Austria's famous apple pastry. The paper-thin layers of dough were filled with spiced apples, raisins, and a hint of cinnamon. It was warm, comforting, and the perfect end to my culinary adventure. As I left Austria, I realized that this journey had been about more than just tasting food. Each dish told a story of the land, its people, and its traditions. From the elegant cafes of Vienna to the rustic taverns of the Alps, Austria's culinary landscape was as diverse and rich as its history. And as I boarded my plane, I promised myself I'd return, because there were still so many flavors left to discover.